Hello there. The weather forecast for Europe has all been about high pressure in recent days and weeks, hasn't it? Not much change actually in the story. The satellite picture showing that there's hardly cloud in the sky. Two areas to point out to you. One, a weather front pushing into Scandinavia. That'll bring eventually some rain into the west of Norway. Another, a system moving its way through the southeast, and that will bring some rain perhaps towards the east of Serbia. If we look at that in a little bit more detail, Macedonia over to Bulgaria and maybe the north of Greece. But Turkey, the Greek Isles, fine, settled and sunny. A good slice of sunshine across Italy through France, where the heat's building here. A few heat of the afternoon showers across Spain, but Spain and Portugal still temperatures perhaps widely into the low 30s. A similar story for Paris. Look, 31 degrees, hot and sunny across the UK, up into Germany and the Low Countries. There's that showery rain into parts of Norway. So that's the story then. As we move into Monday, not that much in the way of change. There could be some localised flooding from that rain moving through Bulgaria if it lingers for even further. Elsewhere, it's all about the dry, settled, sunny weather conditions. And guess what? More of the same to come throughout the week. Hardly a drop of rain to be found, and temperatures still high 20s, low 30s. We could see a little bit of showery rain and a cooler feel into Germany perhaps through the middle of next week. Hello there. Well, let's take a look at what to expect across North America, and we start off with a satellite picture. It shows a weather front trailing through the eastern seaboard down towards parts of Texas. Now, this is still producing some heavy rain down to the deep south, Alabama, Louisiana and Texas, where we saw some flooding rains into Houston for the 4th of July celebrations. Behind it, though, high pressure building, and the wind direction, a subtle change, which means it's not quite as hot across eastern Canada and the northeast of the US as it has been here, but it's dry. Now, on the west coast, it's all about the heat. Just want to look at the temperature profiles. Now, don't forget, the brighter yellows and greens denote the slightly cooler air, so the warmer russets, the warmer still. And as we get down to the deep russets, we've got some extreme heat into parts of California. Not great news for the wildfires here that are burning, and still temperatures perhaps in one or two spots in California could be as high as 40 degrees. For Los Angeles itself, not quite as extreme, 28, which is 82 Fahrenheit. Now, we talked about this subtle change in wind direction. Good deal of dry weather really through parts of eastern Canada and the northeast, but here we'll see temperatures mid-20s likely. And then anywhere from Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, down over to Texas will stay pretty stormy with this weather front moving through, so some intense thundery downpours still likely. That's it. Take care. Hello there. A weather forecast for Mexico, Central America and the Caribbean coming up shortly. But first of all, let's take a look at what to expect in South America. Most of the weather action across northern Argentina, with the weather front producing some rain for Buenos Aires and certainly a cooler feel here to the weather story. Elsewhere, it looks likely to be a little bit quieter. It's cold to the south and we've got some drier weather to the north. Not looking too bad across Brazil at the moment. Showers are expected to Rio later on in the week. We've got some sharper showers across Colombia and Venezuela and maybe into northern Ecuador. But as you can see, up into the far north coast, we will have a scattering of showers, fine and settled for much of Brazil. And then into Uruguay and northern Argentina, we've got that cloud and some of that rain quite heavy for Buenos Aires. To the south of that, it's pretty cold, but at least it's largely fine and dry. So we will see the rain easing in Buenos Aires, but temperatures not improving much. Some rain to come into Rio de Janeiro over the next few days. As for Mexico, there'll be some showers, some of them quite heavy as well if you catch one. Central America looks largely fine and quiet. Much of the Caribbean not too bad. Cuba and Jamaica, some dry, settled weather. We have got a hurricane, if you've heard. This is Hurricane Beryl. Looks likely to approach the Lesser Antilles as we move through the second half of the weekend. And if we zoom out, you can see that in a little more detail. We're not too concerned about it, but there it is. Take care. Hello there. Over the next few days, I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot about Typhoon Maria. Quite a significant storm that's sitting across the Western Pacific. You can see the circulation quite clearly on the satellite picture. Now, that will be tracking in a westerly direction, perhaps brushing with the north of Taiwan and then making landfall maybe across the east coast of China. At the moment, it's expected around 200 nautical miles south of Shanghai. But ahead of that, over the next few days, we've still got some intense showers to come across Japan, northern and central China as well, and some heavier showers through parts of Vietnam and Thailand. The rain fairly extensive through the Philippines, even ahead of that typhoon. So certainly we need to keep an eye on the weather here over the next few days. Looks as though the showers will continue through the week. Lengthy spells of sunshine in between those heavy thundery downpours. As for Australia, high pressure the dominant feature, but it's windy down to the south, and that wind is driving up colder air. Victoria, New South Wales, disappointing here. The same too for Tasmania. And then further east of that, well, we've got some wet and windy weather into New Zealand as well. Not just the South Island, as you can see, fairly extensive through the North Island as well. That rain will start to ease away, and we'll see an improving picture as we go through the week. The rain easing in Melbourne too. Hello there. Monsoon rains in full swing at the moment. Let's take a look at the latest. And as you can see from the satellite picture, plenty of rain cloud being picked up and quite a strong westerly wind as well, feeding in that cloud and that moisture along that west coast. And that's where the heaviest of the rain is likely to be, particularly through Maharashtra and stretching over towards Chhattisgarh and Orissa as we go through the second half of the weekend. We've also got some heavy rain generally along that Kerala coastline and still moving up through the Bay of Bengal, affecting Bangladesh and Myanmar. Now to the north of that, it's all about the dry, settled and pretty hot weather as well. We've even got temperatures in Astana and Kazakhstan at 30 degrees, but that blue sky and sunshine and heat extends further south. All the stands we're looking at around the high 30s, low 40s. So there's the heavy rain, as I say, through Maharashtra, down through that Kerala coastline in particular. Then that feeds a little bit further inland. Chhattisgarh, Orissa is likely to see some. There'll be some sharper showers towards Bangladesh, not as heavy as it has been the rain here. So the next few days then we keep that wet weather into Mumbai, just a few isolated showers into Islamabad. That westerly wind could pick up some sandstorms through Karachi towards the end of the week as well. Hello there. A forecast for the Middle East and an update with the summer heat coming up shortly. But first of all, let's take a look at Africa, where the satellite picture is picking up the shower clouds close to the equator as we get at this time of year. Elsewhere, things are relatively quiet. We will see a few showers perhaps threatening through parts of Mozambique. Further south, recent rain in Cape Town easing, sunshine coming through here. But it's all about these showers that move from east to west at this time of year, heaviest of which on Sunday looks likely to be close to Senegal. To the north of that, it's heat with temperatures high 30s into Egypt. So despite the sunshine into Cape Town towards the end of the week, there's the potential for more rain arriving here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Elsewhere, there's a good deal of dry weather. As you say, in Khartoum, we'll see those temperatures in the high 30s as we go through the week. Showers continuing on and off for Lusaka. For the Middle East, it's hot, it's dry, it's sunny. The heat really starting to get quite oppressive now at this time of year. Some places close to 50 degrees as we go through the afternoon. We have seen a localised shamal just recently. That is easing down, as you can see, and most of the breeze quite light and close to the coastline. So further inland, we are looking at a very still story, and that heat pretty oppressive. So the story over the next few days, little in the way of change, no surprise, temperatures staying on the high side.